really happy to have you all here at this event today evening. I request the entire Pulse team to give a big round of applause to all the guests who have honored our invitation and have made it up here this evening in spite of the busy schedule. Thank you so much, everybody. It's nice to see you here, have you here. But for a few of you who have been already associated with Pulse, for the others, we are a passionate company and we connect people, businesses and communities through cutting-edge technology and exceptional service. Our mission is to empower our customers by delivering reliable and secure telecommunication solutions. We have gathered here this evening to embark on a journey of learning, collaboration and innovation. Over the course of this event, we have a packed agenda with a range of sessions designed to inform and inspire you with our latest services. We have our expertise from the AI team, the data team, and our voice team. Thank you, gentlemen, once again, and I expect you to come up with a lot of questions so that the session keeps interesting. Thank you, and over to Margaret.
Thank you, Ms. Mohana, for the warm welcome. Our first presentation of the evening will focus on data services provided by us. We are honored to have Mr. Saravanan and Mr. Sarfraz from our team to present the latest advancements in SD-WAN Solutions, DNS security, and AWS Direct Connect. Over to you, Saravanan.
Anevarikkum vanakkam. Very good evening to all. I'm here to discuss on data services offered by Pulse. Since the SD-WAN is one of our new solution offered, let me start with it. So when we talk about SD-WAN, we can assist you replacing MPLS connections with the SD-WAN, which will link the head and branch offices safely and effectively. So the highlights on this SD-WAN is it is programmable zero-touch. It is programmable zero-touch deployment. All 5 features are available to the system. Link aggregation is attainable using various ISP services. Prioritizing traffic can be done based on the services to take the optimum route. If you have several branches using MPLS connectivity and point-to-point connectivity, Pulse can offer you technical and cost-effective commercial solutions. The solution is suitable not only for multi-branch organizations, it can also be implemented to single-located offices with all listed features, 100% uptime, along with packet prioritization and QoS. So real-time packet flow like voice traffic, centralized IPTX, the CCTV surveillance, even Microsoft Teams, Google Meet will not get interrupted with this kind of a service. We can include SD-WAN solutions as a managed service and can provide you with an option to connect other provider service as a tertiary backup. We will take care of troubleshooting the other provider's link, and you will be interacting only with a single provider, Pulse. So these are the SD-WAN features which is inbuilt to the SD-WAN solutions we offer. The benefits of a firewall and control multiple ISP services between branch offices can be availed with our single SD-WAN solution. So these are the SD-WAN key features which will bring into the system. So I quickly move on to internet lease line services from Pulse. So Pulse is a pan-India operator servicing enterprises and MSMEs. So basically other service providers provide dual last mile but from the same base station on wired mode. But Pulse operates on a unique way, offering dual last mile on wired and wireless technology that delivered from 2 different base stations, which makes sure it's a perfect redundancy. Our wireless last mile supports up to 1 gig of bandwidth, but both last mile terminated to a Cisco device for failover and a single Ethernet output will be delivered to the customer. So we also bring 3 last miles to the customer location with redundancy with respect to size of bandwidth and sensitivity. So additionally, advantage here is the static IP remains the same during the failover. So hopefully this is a very cost-effective solution for you. We are moving on to the next slide of international partners for Pulse. So Pulse partners with international carrier directly, so the path optimization to global destination is easier. So our direct partners are Telstra and NTT. Routing the destination IPs is in best path, improve the performance of the site and faster accessibility. So this is one of the use case where we have delivered a better latency to Australian IP. Customer was using their other service provider with 387 ms and we have worked on it and path optimized and achieved 32 ms for the Australian IP. So this is about the strongest last mile what we have in Chennai. So we have our fiber infra inside CMRL routes and use it as a backup network to deliver services across the city. The Metro Rail fiber network utilized by Pulse have 100% uptime since its inception and this has given us a benefit over all other competitors in Chennai city. So because of this very strong infra, we have maintained 99.9% uptime for most of our customers. So this is about the proactive monitoring from Pulse. Our team is very strong in proactive monitoring. We have real-time monitoring tools which generate alerts and notification instantly to take immediate action to resolve the issue. So we extend our support to resolve issues in client's LAN network as a value-added service. So we proudly tell that Pulse link delivery time is really faster than any other service provider in the market. So the feasible locations can be delivered even within 3 to 4 days of time. We have achieved delivering few links even in 24 hours. The main advantage on all the above is Pulse has not outsourced any of its process. The entire team like link delivery, support, service, ticketing team, finance, sales. So everybody is under one roof controlled by Pulse. Being in telecom sector, it makes the workflow really faster. So we are on managed service. So we offer campus Wi-Fi on a managed service for institutions, hospitality. Pulse provide an end-to-end telecom solution which includes internet, SD-WAN, firewall, Wi-Fi, hotspot, network devices. So everything all together as a solution. So we also provide these services on an OPEX model and reduce the investment burden for the customers. So Pulse provides managed SD-WAN, where SD-WAN solution along with the primary and secondary connectivities from Pulse and an additional tertiary backup connectivity will be provided through another telecom provider as a part of the service. So next two slides will be presented by Mr. Sarfraj. Over to Sarfraj.
Good evening everyone. Thank you for joining with us today. Today I will be providing an overview of AWS Direct Connect, which is also available by Pulse. So AWS Direct Connect is a private dedicated connectivity from customer office to AWS environment. So one of the benefits of having a direct connect is performance is consistent, by which network performance is predictable with lower latency as it bypasses the public internet. And there is no chance of risk on the data thread as we are not onto the internet because the data is travel on the second layer where no exposure of data with the internet, providing more secure pathway for your data, which is nowadays very crucial for maintaining confidentiality. and the cost associated with the cloud, where data is accessed on the internet, is also lesser when compared to having the large scale data transfer in the on the cloud. We do not only provide direct connect services with AWS, we also provide connection available for cloud providers such as Microsoft and Google. Moving on to the next slide. These are the latest technology we have come up with, DNS security. There are some key points. First point is anti-IP blacklisting. It is achieved by controlling outbound and inbound spam, and by controlling the malicious traffic, which minimizes the chances of getting IP blacklisted. Next point. Next is a key attribute, which is protective DNS resolver. Involves identifying and mitigating the malicious traffic patterns. Then next is a neutralized botnet. Both the inbound and outbound spams are being controlled, which minimizes and give us the quicker access to the website. Next is the DNS query latency. So the DNS query latency is, will be optimized here, which will be resulting in quicker access to the website and improved user experience. So that is it with the DNS security features. So thank you for joining us.
So thank you everyone. Hope this session is informative for you all. If anyone interested to know further information or join hands with us, we appreciate an opportunity from your end. Thank you.
Thank you, Savana, and thank you, Zafras.
We are very happy with their services. The main thing which already you would have seen in their presentation, their SD-WAN connection, they are providing a backup solution with the same cost of your regular lease line, which is on RF, and the connectivity between RF and your normal wired seamless in case of the disconnecting the wired connection, automatically switch to the RF. That helps in having a seamless connectivity because the entire office is working based on the internet nowadays. So even a few minutes of internet down creates a lot of problem. So in this case, being just providing an RF as a backup solution, we do not face any problem as of now. And almost the service provided by them by their team is also very good. And in case of almost sometimes they themselves will come and tell that some problem in some devices and they change it by themselves automatically. Through that, I found that monitoring system also very good, keep the connection. So I would like to congratulate Pulse team that their future this thing is to be very success. Thank you.
We have engaged PulseNet Telesystems for a point-to-point network. As we have two locations in Chennai, one at Olympia Tech Park, India, and another one is Sasadas Tech Park, Taramani. So to connect those two locations, we are using this P2P network. We have 1 gig connectivity, and it's almost giving 1 millisecond I believe. So that I can see. The service offering by Pulse Telesystems is awesome, and as of now we don't have major impact due to this network, and we have 100%, not 100%, 99.9% utilization on this connectivity. So I'm looking forward to work with them in future events.
Thank you, team, for that wonderful presentation, and thank you so much for those encouraging words. I'm sure it's going to make us work more. Well, now as we move on to an in-depth discussion on Pulse voice service offerings, we have Mr. Samuel Pradeep, who will guide us through our call desk features, WhatsApp services, international SMS, and our 10-digit virtual number. There will be an interactive question and answer session to address your specific needs and concern after the presentation. Now I welcome Samuel to take over.
Good evening all. I hope everybody is well. Thanks to the Pulse management for the opportunity. So I'm just going to give you a brief solution on the voice. So some of you may know us from the data, but voice is an equally strong product of our company. So I'll just take you through the agenda of the presentation. I'm going to cover like international calling, some of our solutions for the healthcare industry, bots, our contact center, some case studies which we have implemented for customers, and some integrations, along with a few videos to make it a bit interactive. So firstly, we have our international calling setup. So mostly some of the customers we service are in the healthcare industry, like the revenue cycle management calling, some are global healthcare solutions, recruitment calling, and BPOs. So there are multiple international processes, domestic processes which we service. So one major important part about our international calling services is we cover nearly 80% of countries with numbers. You want a US number, I can give you any area code US number. You want a UK number, I can give you UK number. You want a UAE number, I can give you UAE number. So we cover around 80% of global countries along with the software. So we also added on provide a cloud solution software where you may have seen in your system deployed that it is a soft phone based setup or an IP phone based setup. But we have a web browser based platform. So we have seen that the growth is in WebRTC technology. So we have a lot of advanced features like single sign-on, multi-factor SMS, and some added-on services what we service are spam monitoring, Azure Express Link, like how Sarfraz has said about AWS Direct Connect, and the voice bots. So one of the major industries that we service is the healthcare industry. I believe there are some of our customers here as well, and some who could potentially be our customers. So we understand the security involved and the seriousness involved in servicing this business. So some of the certifications we have are HIPAA compliant, and we have a SOC 2 compliance as well. So on a cloud center perspective, as I told you, we have a WebRTC based product. It's on the browser, which allows for ease of use. So for example, we have some advanced features like a dual dial pad. So we understand that in this business, there are calls which wait for a long time. So what we try to do is, we give them agent another dial pad on the screen, so they can talk at 2 calls at a time, so that they don't lose their productivity. They make 2 calls at a time. When the insurance provider on the other side answers, they're able to answer back. And recently we integrated with Azure for a single sign-on. So like how we use Gmail to log into multiple apps, you can control all of your calling applications. You may have multiple providers. Using that one login, you can contact multiple providers when logging with the same Azure ID. Thirdly, like Merlin mentioned, we have also service with US SMS. We understand that authentication is very important. So we provide US SMSs for multi-factor authentication and for security reasons, which can be either used via API or it can be directly given to an email. Fourthly, we also do an express link with Azure for a private connectivity. So we can even deploy our contact center on Azure. Even though we are primarily on AWS, we can also deploy our contact center into Azure for your setup. So most importantly, as we are servicing this industry for many years, for more than 20 years I believe, we make sure that any of your data is stored in the US for HIPAA regulations. Our calling service in the US, but as per TRI norms, our gateways are in India. So this is just a brief of the revenue cycle solution we offer. So recently, we have actually developed a bot for this revenue cycle management. So as some of you may know, you call US insurance providers to get the claim status of a particular patient. What we have done is we automate it. So these are some of the providers we have partnered with or we have worked for, like Medicare, Humana, UMR, Aetna, Cigna. So the next slide will actually show you how a normal caller works and how we can automate it for them. So if you can see here, there are 2 processes of 2 different healthcare providers. One is Aetna and one is Cigna. So the flow what you see here is the normal flow what a caller will face on a daily basis. So they will call a US healthcare number. They will try to input the details of the patient, like say for example your tax ID. They will put the member ID. They will put the date of birth. They will wait for a verification of the patient. So what we can do is we have developed a bot which will automate everything. So for this process, for a manual agent to do this, it may take you 10 minutes. But I can do 50 calls in the same 10 minutes through a bot. That means you don't need the manpower. Everything can be done on the bot itself. And a bot recognizes, for example, some IVR systems, they accept voice. So where you say the patient's name, it will reach back and give you that as a response. Or sometimes it will also ask you to give a DTMF input, like alphanumeric DTMF. So on your mobile phone, when you press 2 once, it will show A. When you press 2 twice, it will show B. So our system automatically recognizes that and translates it to the IVR system so that it can accept the inputs. So for example, Cigna is another process or another healthcare provider that we worked on as a bot. So for example, all these processes which you see here, like a tax ID, a member ID, how do you confirm the member ID, what are the data birth, everything can be done automated. So either you can upload an Excel sheet into a platform and the bot will run automatically. And also from your tool where you store your patient information, you can even just use it by an API to run the bot. So we can even handle a concurrency of 100 to 150 calls. So say a normal call would take a caller 20 minutes, we can do it with just 4 minutes time. And in case your data is not sufficient or you're not getting the right output, you can just run it again. So within those 20 minutes of normal manual time, you can run 5 times the bot cycle and complete it in 20 minutes. So this is a quick bot. So I'm unable to show you a demo due to HIPAA reasons, and we have some client data we work with. So anytime you would want to see a demo, we can come to your office and we can show you a live demo of the bot as well. So another major service what we recently onboarded is a spam monitoring service. So this is primarily for the US market, where we work with the US carriers to ensure that none of your calls are marked as spam. So for example, we have a monitoring tool where you can upload our numbers, you can classify your numbers with us for this service, and we will ensure that they do not get marked as spam. And in case it gets marked as spam, I have the ability to remove that thing, remove the spam option, because I partner with these carriers. So if you want to see a demo of it, or if you want to think, you can always reach out to the team here, we're willing to show you a project. So now I'll be moving on to the domestic sector. So as you know, India is a big market for call centers. So we try to service call centers based on the need of each and every customer. So the major point what we focus on is integration. Why we focus on integration is there is already a CRM in place, or an ERP in place, or a SAP in place, and we are the call center product. So since we have a WebRTC product, it's an easy plug-in anywhere because all your CRMs are on the browser. So we always believe in integration first. So for example, we've integrated with Salesforce, Zoho, Sell.do, and many more CRMs. And a major issue that most companies face is they're not able to retain their existing infrastructure. Say you move from one provider to the other, you have to change your numbers. Your customers already know your number, so you may face an issue where customers reach out to the number and it's gone to another company. So what we do is we integrate with their existing PRA or your existing SIP run. That way, your customers still know that your business numbers are the same. At the same time, they're using a different provider. So this is a major USP of Pulse. And additionally, we are also a domestic telecom provider. So we have a VNO license. We provide our own SIP runs. And in the next slide, I will be explaining to you about mobile virtual numbers as well. So our deployment, how we analyze solutions is based on every single requirement. Every requirement is different. Every call center is different. So we try to analyze each and every requirement and see how do we fulfill that requirement. So any kind of deployment, whether it's a cloud-based or a on-premises based, we try to service based on our client's needs. So I just have a quick video to show you on our IVR builder, just a small snippet of a platform. So this is just a quick IVR builder. So everyone has an IVR in place. So we have the option for you to manage your own call center or your own telephony setup, where you can put your own IVR via text to speech, or you have a recording, you can just upload it. So for example, here what I'm showing you is I'm just typing a random text, and automatically it gets converted to speech and it gets configured into the system. So next, we also have an option for a holiday IVR. So you may know that, okay, on your holidays you may not want an IVR in place, but you want all your calls to be tracked and recorded. So you can just configure the holiday IVR here, and it will automatically configure to the system. We choose the date and time. So for example, I select type. What is the date, what is the start time and end time, and accordingly your IVR will be played. So mainly what we give is, we give you the option to configure your call flow. So I have an IVR builder here, where if I want to enable a recording, I can enable a recording. So say any IVR will have either a key press or a voice-based input. So if I want a key press, say I'm going to press 1, what is the action it should take? So when I press 1, I want to send it to a group of people. So say in the Pulse IVR, it says welcome to Pulse Telesystem, press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. So we define the call flow here and we let the customer itself take the action to configure their own call flow. Because every company is different, every call flow is different, every need is different. So this is an option which we give on our front end to configure for your own processes. So if you want to add another key press, like what would happen if I press 2? The press 2 can have another set of users to run the call through, or another department. Everything can be configured on the Pulse platform itself. So you can go back to the PPT. So if you have any questions, always free to answer. Last one. So as I was saying, you may be knowing of multiple contact center providers, but what is also important is the telecom that goes behind it. So you may have heard of your normal SIP trunk, whether it's a Bangalore or a Chennai SIP trunk. But what we have also recently come up with is a mobile virtual number solution. So what is the benefit? It starts with the series 9, resembles a mobile number. It's not dependent on any location. So if you get a call from the number, it won't show it's coming from Bangalore or from Ahmedabad or from Chennai. So for example, what it does is it improves the call connectivity. The calling number comes from a mobile number, even though it's not a mobile number. And also it doesn't depend on any mobile network. So it's easy to use in a telephony system. It improves your call engagement because any customer would trust a call coming from a 9-digit number. And it's very scalable. Anytime you need to increase your channels or decrease your channels, it's up and down, it's very scalable. So another services which we recently partnered with is WhatsApp. So we are a WhatsApp business partner. So we also provide WhatsApp APIs, and we also have a WhatsApp bot. So I think today morning we would have triggered a message to you, and I hope you were able to interact with the bot. So we try to do multiple flows of the bot based on a requirement. So we do it for multiple industries, multiple use cases. So for this event, we had devised a small chatbot, which I hope you were able to interact with. So the benefit of chatbot is it's always available. You don't need to depend on an agent to reach out to a company. There's always any kind of flow can be built, any kind of integration can be done, which can be personalized with your own CRM. You'll get an instant response and you'll get good reports, and a chatbot always makes for a good product demo. This is just a quick brief about WhatsApp. So why Pulse? So many of you have already interacted with the sales people. They come to your office, they met you. But I would like to mention one more time, we are a completely telecom solution provider. Our entire suite consists of VoIP, contact center, CRM, SIP trunks, lease line, Truecaller, SMS and WhatsApp APIs. So no other provider comes close to the telecom services we offer. And we also provide a managed telecom service. As some of our customers may know, we provide both data and voice. But we can provide you a completely managed service. We can set up your call center, we can provide you the numbers, and we can provide you the connectivity as a USP. And the third major important point is we are one of the most experienced partners in the telecom industry. So for 20 years we've been in the market. So we're one of the senior most providers in the domestic market. So I'm just presenting 2 case studies for you. So I'll tell you what the problems the client faced and how we were able to solve them. So this is a call center setup which we had deployed for an NGO in India. So they had a problem where it was an on-premises setup and they did not have the adequate people to manage it. So by deploying our call center in the cloud, we were able to manage it for them. Any downtime came up, we were able to handle it or anything like that. So one major platform failure what they had faced was the platform could not handle more than 100 concurrent calls at the same time. So this call center gets around 50,000 calls on a daily basis, mainly incoming. So, and it's a very sensitive call center they have. So their expectation is 100% uptime. But during our implementation, we were able to handle more than 120 concurrent calls. And this NGO was also spread all over India, and they wanted to be able to use the platform easily. Since we provide a web-based platform, they can just log in from their browser at home or anywhere else. And the main thing what they faced was they didn't have an integration in place where the agent or the caller could not see who they are talking to, since there are already people registered in the database. So what we did is, on our web browser platform, which I'll be showing you a video of, we have integrated a CRM itself in the Pulse dial pad. So if you can see here, this is the Pulse dial pad, and this is the dialer that you see here. But the entire information captured here is the CRM. So what happens is, if a customer is registered on this CRM, their details will populate. So Saraj, you can play it and I can show a test call. Saraj, you can pause it. As you can see here, this is a registered donor in the system. So what the system knows is, we trigger an API to the database to see that, okay, is this an existing donor? Is this an existing customer? And their details populate. And if you can see here, the language shows as English. So what it means is, this is a national call center where people call from different languages to different people. So we ensure that no matter what, whenever this person calls into the system, they will always be redirected to an English caller. Because we understand that the system has stored the data that, okay, this is an English person, this is an English caller. So Sarth, you can tell me. So everything which takes place in the CRM, whatever notes you have to fill in, gets updated in the CRM itself. So this is what we call iframe integration, where we have brought the CRM into our platform. And I'll also have another video in another case study where we will also show the customer, where the customer has a CRM, Salesforce, and where we have integrated into Salesforce. So like I mentioned earlier, this major customer had a problem where their existing customers were not able to reach them very easily. They had to go through the IVR to get to the agent. So what we have done is, we have integrated the CRM. So like I showed you in the video, the person who was shown on the video speaks only English. So they will always go only to an English queue. And another problem what they faced was, there was no dump of reports. There was always a dump of reports. There were no advanced analytics. So we had provided BI powered dashboards. So what this helped them was, their TLs and their quality auditors could spend time on other work. Everything was automated for them. So they didn't have to manually go on Excel, create formulas and create their own reports. And mainly for this NGO, the major point what they wanted was to integrate with their existing number. So they had an Airtel number, which they were using for more than 20 years. But they didn't want to change the number. So what we had done is, we had integrated their SIP trunk, so that no matter what, their callers will always call their own number. Because that is what they've been known by for 20 years. So go to the next slide. So this is the iframe integration we've done with inside the Pulse platform. So now I'll show you a quick integration of what we've done inside Salesforce. So you can tell me. So as you can see here, compared to the other integration, we have built our dial pad into Salesforce, where you have a single sign-on, you log in with the Salesforce ID, and your calling gets activated. As an agent, you can only make calls through your CRM. You don't need to log into the Pulse tab, don't need to have an external application, everything is on the browser. So if you see when a call is being made, a particular lead page relating to the number opens up. So you know that, okay, this is the particular lead you're calling, this is the particular lead information you need to gather by talking to the customer. And what happens also is, a task gets created. This call was made to this customer. Whether it was answered or no answer will be shown on the screen. So everything takes place within the Salesforce ecosystem and is easy to use. So if you see here, the task gets created against a particular lead. That call has been made. So if you can see here, there's an outbound answered call. And what happens here is, we update the call records, like what time the call started, what time did the call end, what was the duration of the call, and as well as the recording. So it's easily accessible for an agent. And what type of call it was it answered or not answered or missed, and the duration as well. Let's go. And I'll also show you how an incoming call comes in. So when an incoming call comes in the system also, it opens up the lead page. So no matter what, in a second, when the incoming call comes in, you will know who's calling you. Because that's what is important in agent, right? Anytime they want to reach out, anybody calls them, they will know who they're speaking to and they will know what to speak to the person. So this is how we have integrated into Salesforce. And we've done multiple different deployments within Salesforce as well. So sir, you can go back to the presentation. So this is the case study for a 1,000-seater call center. And they had actually tried to migrate from a real estate-based CRM to Salesforce. And we had actually done the deployment in 3 weeks' time, which I think is a record in our industry. So one of the major things, like I showed you in the video, was a single sign-on. So through CTI, we were able to integrate in Salesforce. You can make calls from Salesforce itself. You don't need to log into the Pulse platform. We had also given them multiple calling modes. So there will be salespeople on the site to reach out to customers. So they can make calls from the mobile. Or else a user in the office can make calls with the browser. We've also integrated with Salesforce database. So when a lead comes in, I will know who the lead owner is, who the call should be routed to. We've done a deep level of integration there. And we've also integrated multiple service providers. So we give them multiple numbers to call out from, and the agent has a choice. If I want to call from SIM number 1, yes. If I want to call from number 2, yes. I have the choice and the flexibility to pick my own number, which I'm going to make calls from. And also what we deployed for this customer was, we have integrated into Salesforce mobile app. I don't know how many of you are using Salesforce here, but if you see here, Salesforce mobile app does not support CTI. But we were able to do it for this customer to suffice their need. And we've also given them like a missed call notification where everything comes on their Salesforce application itself. So we have also integrated WhatsApp and SMS for this client, where SMS go to their website. Any person comes on their website, they get an OTP triggered to them. Any lead which comes on the website gets a chatbot sent to them, like what time, what property you're interested in, what kind of, where would you like to visit, when would you like to visit, and so on. This is just a small use case I'm going to do. So I'm coming towards the end of my presentation, so I hope I'm not taking too long. So we've also recently integrated Microsoft Teams. So a lot of people here might be using Teams for the internal communication, but I can tell you that you can even use Teams to make a normal phone call. So what we do is we can convert Teams to your own office PBX. You may have a Teams environment, you may have a PBX in your office. But what we can do is we can change Teams into your PBX. So all these features are available with Teams. What we do is our platform behaves like an SPC and we integrate it into Teams. And through this Teams application, based on the licenses you have, you can make calls from Teams. I can call you from my Teams application as a normal phone call on your phone. So if you want to see a demo, we're always here to show you a live demo of the product as well. And last but not least, we have also partnered with Truecaller. So most of you know how easy it is to get a number marked as spam. But when we partner with Truecaller Business, we give clients the opportunity to make calls using their company name. So how a call, you would get a call from a company saying like Bajaj Finance with a green color banner. That is what we also do. So that improves your brand visibility, trust. It helps you increase the call ratio and the satisfaction on the customer end, because you know you're not getting spam, you know who is calling, and you know it's a call which you have consented for. So Truecaller is also another services which we have. So in case you want to to see how it could benefit your organization, we're happy to help you out. So I've come to the end of my presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradeep. And may I call upon Mr. Vijay Anand to give a few words, because I think Goro Health has been associated with Pulse for almost more than 5-6 years. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Very happy to be with the Pulse team. Fantastic leadership by Gopal and Hero. They've been servicing us for the past 7 years, both on the lease lines and also on the voice part. And we have significantly, gotten the benefits from the services. As you rightly said, on the lease lines, they have both the through the CMR lines and also the UBR. So that way, like Chennai, all the other locations, there's a lot of picking going on. So that way, we were able to manage seamlessly, without any kind of downtime. There are also Azure Connect partners which help us to connect to our VDI environments. And on the voice part, we used to scale up very fast. Every month we used to hire 1,000 people, 2,000 people at a times, and Pulse team was very efficient enough to help us to scale up and provide the services. And they were also very prompt. We used to mostly operate within the US. So Pulse team was always available for us. They had dedicated engineers to us, and they made sure the quality of services was very good. And also we had some very stringent requirements, the recordings had to be stored in the US. So there were a lot of restrictions. So they made sure, they addressed all our concerns. They customized it for us, which was very important, unlike the other service providers. Thank you, Pulse team, again for all the support, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words. It was very encouraging. Up next, we have a discussion on the latest trend in AI developments that will impact the telecom sector, led by our AI team. The session will delve deep into intricacies of AI innovations and their applications in our industry. I would like to welcome Mr. Rohan Isaac for a couple of words.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Rohan. I primarily head the AI solution that you're about to see for today. I also want to thank Hiroshi for giving us the opportunity to discuss about this topic, since the landscape is changing so tremendously, especially with the integration of LLMs and live chat GPTs. We thought we could give you what capabilities we have achieved in this market in September 2024. So the product that I want to talk to you today is called Redflare. So what is Redflare? Redflare is a comprehensive conversational analytics platform. What this application does is that it's integrated to Pulse, and it processes Pulse calls to give you a comprehensive series of analytics. It does this by converting the call into text, and then runs a series of analytics both on the call and on the text. So how a customer is talking, their emotions, their voice, their anger, frustration, happiness, that tone, it takes one series of analytics. And then it writes down what they're saying, and then runs another series of analytics on that. So the use case for this is completely comprehensive. So for example, you're able to, you're able to coach your agents based on how well they're able to handle a call. So if you want to have a scorecard, you want to have a compliance list to see if they're following all the rules, you're able to do that. You're able to give you a comprehensive breakdown on customer sentiment. It's not just simply tagging a customer and saying this is an angry customer or this is an unhappy customer. What are the factors that led him to give this? What are the factors that he feels frustrated with the service that is being offered or the product that is being offered? We're able to give you a very comprehensive solution. And the tool also works as an early warning system. So as soon as a call happens, the tool is able to send out an alert to your leads, to your operation heads, so that any potential escalations or churn are being able to be acted upon. So how did we come up with the solution? What is the challenge that we faced? So a lot of our customers come up with this one solution. They say, Rohan, I take 5,000 to 10,000 calls a day. One, I'm not able to understand what my customer is feeling because I can't sit and listen to 5,000 to 10,000 calls a day. The only way I understand how a customer is feeling is the case notes that the engineer is writing. But the problem with this is the customer can say very, very serious things on the call. They might say, Rohan, I am really done with your company. I'm going to pull out my business out of this. Or Rohan, I'm going to escalate this and I'm going to make your life miserable. They can say very, very serious things. But what your engineer will write in the case notes is customer unhappy or customer upset. They won't tell the seriousness of what the customer was facing on the call. Another use case that was given was the engineers in this, once they finish taking a call, they sit and they spend considerable amounts of time writing the case notes. And this actually causes an irritation to the customer because when the engineers are spending time making case notes, the call queue is starting to formulate. So many of your customers are actually having to be waiting on the queue, and this is a very, very irritating thing for customers because they want to, get their issue resolved as soon as possible. From a coaching perspective, you are not able to give a comprehensive analysis on how well your agents are doing because it's a dipstick analysis. Out of 5,000 calls, you take one call a week, and then you singly sit and then you listen to this call 20 minutes, 1 hour, you make those calls, and then you coach an agent. But your agent can come and say, sir, this is one call that you've taken. I did poorly in this call. You did not listen to my 99 calls that I've taken in the week. So it creates there is this idea where there isn't a comprehensive analysis that's being given to your agent. So these are some of the main challenges that came up to us, and we came up with a comprehensive solution for this. So what Redflare was able to achieve is one, give you a complete 360 degrees view on every single call that your customers have with your telecom. What this has also enabled us to do is that it's enabled us to reduce the number of frustrations, the escalations, potential churns by a significant amount. Because as soon as the call is recorded and the AI goes through the transcript, the AI is listening to the call, it's able to understand these are the key factors that is irritating your customer. It's able to generate a report and then send an alert out to your leads, to your operation heads. And what this is able to do is you're able to act on this customer before it becomes an escalation or it becomes a particular churn. Another thing is since the AI also does all of the case notes, and this is very, very customizable. So let's say you want the case notes regarding only to the product problems, etc. Yeah, the tool is able to do that. But the use cases are very diverse. For example, let's say if it's an outbound sales call, you want to understand why your sales calls are not converting. Which leads are generating the most number of conversions? Why aren't particular calls generating conversions? Very, very intricate details. So any mistake from the agent's part, you can even see the reasons why the customer does not want to go with that particular sale. It could be things like customer's not interested, customer's going with a competitor, customer thinks that it's too pricey. The tool is able to give you a very, very sophisticated, comprehensive list on what is being happened. And this has also freed up a lot of the agents who are actually taking this call, because the agent doesn't have to sit and make case notes anymore. The AI is doing everything for them. In fact, for one of our customers, the testimonial that they had was they shifted their entire team from listening to calls to just auditing emails, because the AI is able to take care of all of their requirements so comprehensively. So these were some of the metrics that we got for one of our customers, how much time that it was reduced, how many seats that was augmented, how confident they were with the solution that we're able to give, etc. This is a breakdown of the solution that we offer. So the use cases can be varied. I will give you some screenshots to show you the AI in action. So compliance and auditing, conversational analytics, agent coaching, and even real-time assist. How real-time assist works is we connect it to the API to Pulse, and as the call is happening live, based on, for example, if the customer is talking about a particular product and your engineer wants the KB article for those particular products, you're able to get that. It's able to give you suggested responses. It's able to document a lot of the details so that your engineer is able to focus on the call. It's able to retrieve the case details, etc. So essentially what Redflare is a platter. It's a buffet. If you say, Rohan, I'm not really very interested in customer sentiment, give me just the transcript and give me just the summary of it. The AI can do that. Or if you want a very comprehensive breakdown on just the customer sentiment, but you're not really interested in the case much, we are able to do that. The AI that we built is so sophisticated, so modern, that it can address any sort of use cases in the market. To list a few examples, we've deployed it for mental health. That is when a patient is talking to a therapist, and these patients usually have depression or psychological conditions. The AI, based on the way they talk, is able to tell you what kind of potential conditions they may be facing. It's not just about the voice, it's about how they say it. So if they're like, Ron, I've been having a very bad day today. I don't feel like I want to live today. It takes into account all these biomarkers. So the sign that I gave, the low tone that I'm saying, what I'm saying, it takes that and then it gives you a comprehensive report. We've deployed it for health and safety. So one of the deployments for this was they said, okay, don't give me the summary. All I want is just two things. One, give me this AI in an app. And what I want to do with this app is that I want to give it to all my blue-collar laborers who are working in ports across the world. So Singapore, Malaysia, any sort of Nepali, Bangladeshi, Indian person who works in these ports as blue-collar laborers. I want to give it to them in an app so that they can report safety hazards in their own language. So I want your tool to transcribe what they're saying and then create a ticket for it so that I know, okay, in Singapore we have these many safety hazards, so I know I have to go act on this. So it gives you that kind of a comprehensive, deployment that we had done. So I've summarized a lot of the capabilities into four main factors here. So Redflare primarily enhances your delivery and your performance. It gives you insights and intelligence. It's able to reduce a lot of your costs because it's saving a lot of your time. You're able to redeploy your team to other processes. And then it's also able to manage your quality audits, your compliance, etc. So now to the fun part. I've attached a screen to show you how our AI actually works. So this is on the left that you see here is the transcript. So what was spoken on the call, the AI tells, okay, this is the agent, this is the customer, splits it into two. And then on the right that you see here is all the analytics that you see here, that the AI gives. So on the top you see, those things are called tags. And what tags do is that they give you a summary of what happened on the call. So for example, in this call, our agent was very unprofessional 18 times. He has made the customer wait on the call 18 times. There was an echo from the agent side. These things are very important because these things are irritating factors to the customer. So for example, call quality echo is a tag that checks if there's an echo, and it checks if the customer has complained about echo. This is important because during COVID, a lot of people used to work from home. They never had proper ecosystems, and then customers would get very, very irritated hearing themselves on the call. Over there, there's another tag called no greeting, so that means your engineer did not greet the customer in the correct way. And then grammatical errors, billing, etc. The scores that you see here are all customizable. So depending on a use case, the scores can be configured. So the quality score is how well this particular agent handled on the call. His soft skill scores are basically his compliance, his scorecard, his KPIs, etc. The language gives you on how well he did his English. This is important because a lot of our customers, the agents are Indian agents or Costa Rican agents, Filipino agents. They want the tool to coach them on their English, so to save time on that. And then it gives you the breakdown of the sentiment. So what is the engineer positivity and what's the customer positivity. Over here on the bottom, we have the sentiment timeline, and it gives you a sentence by sentence, transcript by transcript analysis on how the customer went. So if I click on the low point there, the tool will take me to that part of the transcript to show you how angry or sad the customer was. So at one glance, without having to listen to the call, without having to try to figure out what went wrong, you are able to get all the main bits of information just at one place. So this is another feature of the tool. This is called an escalation probability matrix, and what this does is it gives you a breakdown of how likely a customer is going to escalate. So it takes into account various factors. For this example, there's a couple on the top. So one is customer negativity, so how angry or sad your customer is. Empathy opportunity, so instances on the call where the customer is very, very angry, and you want the tool to you want the engineer to sympathize or empathize with the customer or give him assurance. The tool is able to capture that. Frustration is customer frustration. The tool captures profanity used by the end customer. And then any sense of urgency, or if the customer is, for example, made a mention of a competitor. If they say, I don't want your business anymore, I'm going to move to TVS or any other company that is mentioned, the tool is able to track all of that. So it gives you a breakdown of those phases, and then it gives you a score of how likely the customer is going to escalate. Going to another use case here. This is the scorecard builder. This is all very, very customizable. Every single scorecard tile that you have here has individual models. And all of this is depending on what you determine important to you. So for example, greetings has multiple validations. Here the tool is able to check what validations you give. It is very, very sophisticated. It understands context. So for example, we have something there called appropriate response. Appropriate response means if the customer asks a question, did the engineer answer this question with line to what the customer has asked? So it understands context. It can understand if the engineer has answered the customer's question properly with regards to what the customer has asked exactly. Over here, something very, very cool. This is the conversation summary. I will give you the context of what is given so that you understand what's given here. Okay, apologies for it being very small, but what we see here is very, very, in my view, yeah, there you go, that's better. So on the left is the actual transcript. So this is a sales call. An agent is trying to call a customer and trying to close a deal. His job is to take all the sales details and then try to negotiate a price. So over here, the AI is confirming all the main details. It is writing down what are the details of the move, which is the origin place, which is the destination. What are the things that they need to move? What kind of assistance they might need with packing. If there's fragile items. What is the service and pricing? What is the negotiations that has happened? Completely comprehensive, meticulous, detailed analysis. And then it will even give you a quick summary of how this call went. So for example, if an engineer or an agent is not convincing on the call, he's not trying to close the sales deal, he's just like, okay, thanks, Nandri Pam. Like that. If they try to close the deal, the tool will be able to flag that. It can tell how convincing or persuasive your agent is. It will be able to check if your agent has made every effort in order to get all the details from the customer. Did he miss getting some details? Because the customer should not come back tomorrow and say, this price was not mentioned to me, this is a surprise. So very, very critical bits of information the AI is able to give, even details of the move, and we're able to get this as a summary. So part of that case summary is this is called your journey tracking. So let's say you make multiple calls to a customer. So the first call is going to be your establishment call. The second call will be trying to be a follow-up call or a closure call. The AI is able to capture all of this. So it tells who was your first engineer, who was your second engineer, what was the customer sentiment on the call, what were the common tags that were between both those calls, or what was individual to each of those calls. If you make 10 calls, the AI will be able to give you 10 separate instances of how your calls have been going. And it also gives you a summary. So, for example, I've been trying to reach out to Samuel. Samuel has been interested in this move. The second call, I negotiated the price with Samuel. The price that Samuel agreed to was, let's say, 30,000 rupees. Samuel wants to move this, this, and this. The third call I had this, this, and this. All of those individual complex conversations, the AI is able to give you a detailed summary, and then it will give you an overview of how the overall experience went. Yeah. Last thing that I wanted to showcase was the multilingual capability of the tool. So this is that use case where I said the tool had to be deployed as a map. So this is the application view of that. So let's say if some person working, some Tamilian working in, let's say, Singapore or Malaysia, they want to highlight a potential hazard, the tool can transcribe it in that native language. So all of the analytics that we see can be analyzed in most languages, most Indian languages, most foreign languages as well. And the tool can translate everything as well. So if the conversation is in Tamil, the tool will write everything down in Tamil, and then it will translate in English and then run the analytics in English. If you want the summary to be in Tamil or English, the tool is able to do that as well. The photographs that you see was part of the project. They want the blue collar laborers to take pictures. So let's say if the fire exit was locked over here or that door is not opening, they can take a picture, make a voice recording, and raise a complaint to the health and safety team. And this actually impacted significantly because they were able to reduce the number of accidents that they get in a year because they were able to know, okay, which places have the highest problem points, and they were able to act upon this, act upon that complaint. So the last slide is kind of technical. It just talks about how long it's going to take to implement such a software. So we have an integration with Pulse. So all we would need is just the number of calls and then basic guidelines. So if you give me a call and you say, okay, Rohan, my focus is I want to focus on customer sentiment and I want to focus on case summary. I only want those two. I will need a couple of examples of it, and then the AI is able to bring it. And then at the end of a project maturity cycle, once the AI has learned how your calls are, what is the tempo of your agents, what are the key bits of information that the AI is trying to look, you can implement this in a live implementation as well. So as the call is going on, the tool will be able to write the case notes. Your engineer does not have to spend significant amounts of time writing the information, and it's able to get this. So I will end with this, but one thing I want to conclude is, I'm not saying this lightly even. What we offer here is some of the most comprehensive artificial intelligence of 2024. The models that we have can compete with the likes of ChatGPT, Meta, anything else that is there in the market. It's been built on thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of data. And the models have become so intelligent, they're able to understand what the context of the call is and what the context of the use case is. It understands that because this has been built over years, it's able to understand, okay, these are the main points that it needs to focus on. And if there is any fine tuning or any sort of focus that needs to be done, the AI is able to learn that very, very, very quickly. So I'll end my presentation here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rohan, for a fascinating presentation. Well, before we continue, I would like to open the floor for a brief question and answer session. So if any of you all have any questions for us, let it be regarding data or voice, I would appreciate questions. Any questions? Maybe you can just raise your hands and Mugna will come over with a mic. No, I think we are all good today, isn't it? Okay, thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite our CEO, Mr. Hiroshin Gopalapillai, to address the gathering. Thank you.
I hope you all can hear me. Thank you. So, firstly, I want to thank every one of you for coming here on our invitation. It is a great honor to have all of you here. And as you all heard, this is one of the first events that we are having as a roadshow, inviting our customers and people who want to get associated with us. Thanks again for all of you coming here. And for those who are our customers, I want to thank you again because you've been the reason for our growth and you've made sure that we grow along with you. Thanks a lot. I again want to take the opportunity to thank the management team that has guided since inception and every person working at Pulse because without them, none of these products would have been possible. So thanks again, thanks team, thank you everyone. And we've been growing tremendously, I would say. The past 5 years have been amazing. We've been working on new products. The market's teaching us new things. Each customer, each one of you all have been a learning for us. If not for you, we would have learned more about what the customer needs and how to enhance our products. So thanks again. And thank God we're here today together and we're able to grow to this extent. And I think the future holds a lot for us. We're growing globally, we're growing across India. Karnataka seems to be very, very promising for us. And across Tamil Nadu, we've been here for 20 years now. And thanks a lot again for all your support. Yeah. So I want to quickly summarize. And thanks team for the presentations, it was amazing. Certain things that I didn't know I probably saw from Samuel's presentation today. Yeah. So certain things I just want to reiterate or tell you something that maybe a key point, something that we can work on right after this presentation or probably in the future days where we can sit down and see how we can actually see how we can benefit you with the services that we are already providing. Yeah, so I'll just run through a very, very short presentation. Yeah. So as you heard, our internet services, we've focused very clearly on the enterprise market. So, MPLS, lease line, point-to-point, direct connect to the cloud service providers, this is all we do. We're not into broadband, we're not in that space. We're very clear with the customer base that we're servicing and all our services proactive 24/7, 365 days. Right, so if a service goes down, we make sure that our support agents call you before you complain to us because we know it is down. We all have the MMS tools available. Just that the larger telcos don't have the time to call you. While we've been very focused that we're going to service these customers. Yeah. So again, we have very, very strong last mile, especially in the city, because you already heard. Mr. Vijayanand also told, Saram also told, we partnered with the CMRL. So that's one infrastructure, thank God has never gone down, right? So you're super happy when you have an infrastructure and you have a particular arm in your company which never goes down, right? So something which is very good for us. I would say we were there at the right time. We hadn't invested too much of capex on underground fiber cables. This was a very good investment for us where we had tied up with the CMRL to take fiber through them. Yeah, and wireless failover has been something standard for us. We've been giving it as an offering to all customers. We compete with the same rates with all other service providers, but wireless backup is something we give you. You say no, we still come and give you. You keep saying no, we'll make sure you give us billing permission. Okay. So that's because the city is very unpredictable. Sometimes wireless works better, sometimes wired works better. We've had weather, we've had floods, we've gone through a lot. So you need to have both modes out there to service customers and make sure the IT is running. And when it comes to upstream carriers, back in the day we were tied up only with Indian players, the likes of Airtel and Tatas and all of that. But today we've also tied up with international carriers directly. So any traffic that goes outside India can be routed through our international partners. So this means we can give you better latency than other service providers as well. So if you give us a latency target, say I want to reach UK in 120 milliseconds. Or let's say you want an IPLC link. So these are also places where we are working with customers today, personalizing bandwidth and setting them. So I want to highlight mainly on the managed services. So today everyone's keen about 100% uptime. Everyone wants to make sure that all your locations are running perfectly fine. There's no downtime anywhere. So we're bringing SD-WAN, as Arun told a couple of times. So SD-WAN again, there are multiple SD-WAN flavors that you might want. We would work with anything of your liking. We are working with Indian SD-WAN solutions, which are Indian indigenous products. We also work with all the brand names that you would like to work with also. And so the whole goal over here is we're an ISP and we know how to give you the best uptime, maintain SLAs. So we can deploy SD-WAN for you, primary, secondary from Pulse, negotiate with another service provider under our cost. So end of the day, you could just reach out to Pulse and just ask, if there's something wrong, Pulse will take up the responsibility for it and make sure that your IT team's burden is reduced a little bit. You would be still worried about scaling up new locations, and there's a lot of work to be done by the IT team, So maintaining uptime is something that you want an ISP to do, and that's what we're here to do for you. And one more other thing on a managed service point of view is campus Wi-Fi. So campus Wi-Fi is basically where we make sure that the end user is service pairs. So for example, let's say right now you're using a laptop or a mobile phone, and we service to that level. So we don't stop at the lease line level. We give you the lease line. We give you, if you require, the firewall, the access points, hotspot solution, all of that. And again, the one more thing that we can do is also do it in an OpEx model. So we're open to a lot of ideas. We work with customers, understand what is better for them. We work on CapEx model. We also work on an OpEx model. So whatever works for you is something that we will work on and provide the services to you. The best example over here is Akkad Hotel right now uses our complete solution, starting from the access points to everything. It's an OpEx solution built for this particular hotel that we are in right now. So we also started working with cloud. So most of our experience comes from building voice applications on the cloud. So today we're also able to migrate on-prem setups to the cloud and do a multi-cloud hybrid environment, so on and so forth. So anything that you might want on the cloud, we're just happy to assist you, help you out at any level. I believe everyone is on the cloud, and if you still feel you need support on that, we're here to support you. And you don't have to worry if you have another partner, we're here still to support you. So whatever support we can give you on the cloud front, we want to do. And when it comes to internet and the cloud, you've already heard that we have a private L2 path connection, like an MPLS point-to-point connection between your office and the cloud that we can offer to you. So that is also an offering that is available with all the cloud providers. We can do it for you. So I'll just go on to telephony. So I'm done with the internet piece. I'm more on telephony. And in telephony, we built a wonderful product, and the team has done a great job. And Samuel has shown you a lot of demo on that. Over here, what I would like to tell you is we've built a small telephone application, or a kind of a widget, you may say, that you can integrate with any application. So let's say there's a BPO or call center operations that you are doing, and you have an in-house team which is developing a lot of software, the CRM around it, the ERP solution around it, or a web application around it. So you can just plug in our telephony into your application. So it becomes like your product, but you don't have to worry about all that telephony has to do. We will give it to you as APIs, and you're good to go. So this is something which has been very key. We've been believing in integration, which helps us grow. Yeah. So these are few of the integrations that we've done. We're available in the marketplaces of these platforms. So you could always go in the marketplace, deploy our telephony integration, and start using it. So we've heard a lot about AI as well. And so AI has come very close, and there's a lot of deployments that have already happened. There's so many things that we heard: voice bot, agent assist, 100% auditing of calls. And AI can do much more than voice. It can work on text. It can work on your emails. The team is also working on amazing things like understanding where your customer is more focused on your website. So there are many things that can be done, and I just want to, whatever I'm talking right now, I feel are actionable points that you can think of for your own organization. So we're trying to make sure that, the services that we provide are up to the mark and meet, your growing needs. So that's the whole goal. That's what, Pulse is trying to do, right? So on the contact center point of view, we have, the agent assist, where it can give you real-time updates to the call center screen while the agent is actually talking. So they get more insights, and it's easy to talk to the customer when they have those insights. Yeah, and Samuel briefed about the voice bots, where a lot of the calling can be automated as well. There are many mundane calls that I think even agents don't want to do. So those calls can be surely automated. And as we already heard, there are mobile number series and all of that. Still, right now if you see, TRAI has gone bonkers on everyone. They're very clear about having the 140 numbers, 160 numbers in place to make calls, and when you're doing a marketing call or something like that. So when it comes to that, your call pickup ratio is going to go down. So considering that you already know your call pickup ratio is going down, you might need a bot, because you can't squeeze your agents beyond a point, because the targets that they've already reached may not be reachable at this point in time. Yeah, so these are other channels on which we are working, because telephony is one channel that we are known for, along with internet, talking about the communication telephony piece. So on the telephony piece, once you're on a call, post-call, maybe you want to send a brochure. I'm selling a property, for example. I want to send a brochure right after it. So all those things can be automated. We work with multiple channels now. We work with mail, SMS, WhatsApp as well. So just want you to all think as to what we can do more, what we can do better for you. We want to be there in your growth curve as well. So we're open to discussions, any ideas, and we can work together with you, understand more requirements. The AI team is open. The telephony team is also open. We also would like to understand more on the internet requirements as well. Thank you so much for patiently listening to us. Thanks again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have come towards the end of this evening, I would really appreciate the time and effort that each one of you have taken to travel all the way directly from work. Being a work day, it takes a lot of, the mindset also is required for you to come here, traveling all the way. So I really appreciate, and thank you so much for being here. It has been an enriching experience, and we hope you've gained valuable insights. Our heartfelt gratitude goes out to all our speakers and guests for their participation and engagement. I also would like to extend my sincere thanks to all our guests for being a part of this event. Your presence and participation have made this event truly special. We hope discussions have sparked new ideas in each one of you. A special thanks goes to our event organizers and the staff here at Accord Metropolitan for their efforts in making this evening seamless and enjoyable. Once again, thank you for being here. We look forward to continue our journey together, exploring new possibilities and achieving greater heights in our respective fields. Enjoy the rest of the evening and have a wonderful dinner. We look forward to meet you with yet another event. Thank you.